I feel disgusted for what's happening to both the Israeli citizens and also the Palestinians, because it's being done by people who do not give a shit about them. All right. And they're rallying them up about these causes that only the elite people, we're fighting rich people's wars. That's what it comes down to. And we are pawns and cockroaches that are expendable commodities for them to get whatever it is they're trying to get. I don't stand with either one of these people. I stand with the people of this country, the American citizens. That's who I stand with. I see all these people saying, I stand with this or I stand with that. Okay, well, if you stand with those countries, then get your ass on a fucking airplane and go over there and fight with them. We have a potential war that is 3 fronts, which we do not have the soldiers to fight. So what do I think this is? I think this is exactly what I've been saying it's going to be. I think this is the actual beginning of the actual conquering of this country. What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society, and welcome to motherfucking reality, guys. Today we have Andy and DJ.
Cruise the motherfucking internet.
That's what we're going to do. That's what CTI stands for. It stands for Cruise the Internet. This is where we do our news, current events. Some may consider it comedy. We definitely do. But not us, them, the ones we talk about, right? So this is how this works. We speculate on what's the truth. We speculate on what we think is not true. And then we talk about how we, the people, can be the solution to these problems. Other times when you tune in, if this is your first time listening, we have many varieties of the show. We also have Q&AF. That's where you could submit questions and I answer them on the show. For those of you unfamiliar, this is an entrepreneurship, success, business-based podcast, personal development podcast. Most of the questions on Q&AF are about those things. You can submit your questions one of a couple different ways. The first way is,
guys, you can email your questions in. Email them in to askandy@andyfrisella.com.
Or you can go on YouTube under the Q&AF episodes, which drop on Mondays, and drop your question right there in the comments section, and we'll pick some from there as well. Other times you're going to hear Real Talk. Real Talk is just 5 to 20 minutes of me giving you some real talk. Other times we have full length. Full lengths where some of our friends, some people who disagree with us, all kinds of people come in and we have a conversation, kind of like every other podcast that you've ever listened to. And then we have this thing called 75 Hard Verses. For those of you that don't know, I am the creator of 75 Hard, which is the first phase of the Live Hard program. You can get the entire program for free at episode 208 on the audio feed. It's not on YouTube because we just started YouTube this year. But if you go on the audio feed, Spotify, iTunes, wherever else, and you go to episode 208 of Real AF, it'll give you the Live Hard program, including 75 Hard for free. 75 Hard is the mega viral, most popular mental toughness, confidence building program that's ever been created. It is free. It will fix your shit. And we bring people on who struggled before, who did the program. We talk about how they were before, how they are now, and how you can take your shit show of a life and make it an actual good one by learning some basic skills. And the basic skills that you need to learn are basically how to follow through on things, how to get shit done. You all know what to do, you just can't do it. But what if you could do it? Where would your life be? Where would you be if every time you said you were going to do something good for yourself or execute a plan on yourself, where would it be if you had actually followed through? My guess is it would be a lot different. I know it would be a lot different. That's what this program fixes. So if you go to episode 208 on the audio feed, you get it for free. Go check it out. There is a book on the website, andyfrisella.com. It's not free, but if you want an in-depth understanding of what the program's about, that's the way to go. So we have a fee for the show. The fee is not monetary. I'm not going to ask you for money. I also don't run ads on the show. I don't take money from corporate sponsors. The reason I don't take money from corporate sponsors is because I don't want to be beholden to what they have to say about what I say on the show. All right. So I'm independently successful. I run my own businesses. I've done very well. I continue to do very well because, let's be honest, you guys support us and we appreciate it. But I'm going to say what I want. I'm going to keep it real. And so in exchange for that, I would just ask that you help spread the message. I can't tell you how many times I get messages about how everybody needs to hear what's going on, but those same people who tell me those things never actually share the show. It takes a little courage to stand for the right things. It takes these things called balls, all right? And you should let them drop and share the messages that you agree with so you can allow me to affect the change that we actually need to create here in this society. So I'm willing to say it. You should be willing to share it. So that's what we mean when we say pay the fee. Don't be a hoe.
Share the show.
All right.
What's going on, man?
Dude? Nothing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on with you?
Nothing much, man. Coming off a good weekend.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's like a pivotal weekend. Can we just go for a couple of minutes, I guess? Like, that's a pivotal weekend for for the First Form employees.
Yeah.
Right? The First Form, the company you own, one of the companies you own. How, like, when was the first one?
The first what?
First Fall Fest.
Oh, man. I don't know. I think we've been doing it for 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah.
Bro, I lose count.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, how did that start? Like, what was
I bought that farm in 2011.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was my first, like I told you, you guys who follow along, you know, my first 10 years in business, I didn't do very well. I made $58,380 my first 10 years in business. Not every year, but for the whole 10 years. And then I figured some things out. You know, I figured out some things. I started making some money. So in the 12th year of me being in business, I said, okay, I'm making some money. Now I'm going to buy something that in case the world goes to shit or in case I really screw this up, I have it and I would enjoy living there. And so I found this piece of property. I pursued it. I bought it and I've had it since 2011. It's a wonderful piece of property. It's a few hundred acres. It lays beautiful. Emily and I actually got married on the property. And we spent a lot of time out there. And so once a year, we have this thing called Fall Fest. And Fall Fest is where all of our employees that are here under roof, that work with us day in and day out. Now, we have a lot of remote employees, and, you know, there's a limit to how many people we can have because the company's getting so big. So we prioritize our under roof people that we come to work with every single day, their families get to come out to the farm. We kind of put on like a fair, I guess you would say. It's not just a party. I mean, it is a party.
It's a party, but
we have, you know, food trucks, we have games, we have live entertainment sometimes. We've got hot air balloon rides, we've got helicopter rides, we got a rodeo.
APC rides.
Yeah, we got tank rides now. That was the big hit this year. You know, and everybody just hangs out and has a good time, man. You know, most of it's conversation, most of it's, you know, seeing the kids run around and have fun. And, you know, we've had a lot of different things there over the years. You know, we've had like, every year we kind of do something different. You know, last year we had shooting bow and arrow out of the side of the helicopter, right? Shit, like just goofy shit. But people enjoy it, and it's a good time for us to, you know, we don't get to celebrate a lot. You know, we work very hard here. Everybody in this company works extremely hard. It's a hard place to work. It's not the community college fucking ragtag football team. Like, we're the University of fucking Alabama here. You know what I'm saying? We're very hard. We have high standards. You have to be skilled to work here. And we work a lot. And so, you know, having days like Fall Fest where we get to hang out, have some beers, chill, get to celebrate, you know, and bring the families out and all that. It's a very important event. And I think it's my favorite event that we do.
I must say, I know a lot of the employees, like they look forward to that day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, most people would think it's Summer Smash, but like, in reality, even with Summer
Smash is work for us.
That's what I'm saying. There's still work.
Yeah, it's great. We love it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's still a huge undertaking to put Summer Smash on.
Yeah.
And it literally requires every single person in this building to be working that day, and not working in an official capacity, but, you know, making sure that things go smooth, making sure people have a good experience. We try to make that event really about the people, and then Fall Fest really about our people.
Yeah.
So, well, they're all our people, but you know what I mean.
I know.
The people we see every single day.
Yeah.
Very similar events in terms of how they feel. But Fall Fest just a little bit smaller. It's actually a lot smaller. It's 600 versus a few thousand.
Yeah.
And, you know, 600-700 or something like that. I don't know what it is, but the point is, it was fucking awesome. The tank ride was so I have this APC. You guys probably saw it on my Instagram.
Good timing.
Yeah. So I started it up, and I was just going to give DJ and Emily a ride around the farm. And then, like, I came back after going on a ride on the farm. There was a line, right? So we get back, and then there's this line, and there's like 10 people in the line. They're like, we're waiting for the tank ride. Everybody kept calling it a tank. I don't blame them. That's what it looks like. So we started with rides. I think we went for a couple hours on the tank rides, and
it was funny because every time we came back to that little
the line was longer.
It got fucking longer. I'm like, I didn't even think it was this many people here.
And you could really only put what 1, 2. You could take 6 people at once where they can see.
Yeah,
4 in the basket, 2 in the manholes, and me driving. So, but it was fun, man. It was a good time. Rodeo was crazy.
A good time driving the tank.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain. Like it was awesome. Like it was the coolest I ever felt in my life.
Yeah, when we went out there Friday, Emily was like asking me like how was it and all of that. I'm like, he had to quote unquote move it about 100 times.
Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, I got to get it parked in the right spot.
No, I get it.
It's important.
That tank's fucking awesome. The APC's awesome.
Yeah.
For those.
Yeah, it's a FV 432 for those of you guys that are in
1960, right?
Yeah, it's a Vietnam era tank.
It moves good.
Or APC. Yeah. I got it because of I really think that there's a possibility that some really bad things are going to happen here in the country. And I wanted to be able to move. It's got a 300-mile range if needed. Yeah. So I got a couple other things too, but we'll talk about those later. Yeah. So
it's real shit, man.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys, obviously there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of things to cover. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's just dive right into it. Guys, remember, if you want to see any of these pictures, articles, links, videos, go to andyfrisella.com. You can find them linked there, or if you're watching on YouTube, check down in the description below. You can find them linked there as well. So let's get into this. This is headline number 1. This is the talk of the town. Everybody's covering it. Everyone's talking about it. But let's connect some dots here. So let's get into it. Headline number 1. Headline number 1 reads, Israel reveals scope of overnight siege on Gaza Strip, says more than 500 targets struck. All right, so this is hours fresh information. The article reads, more than 500 Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad targets have been struck overnight as part of a massive blitz on the Gaza Strip, the Israeli Air Force announced Monday. In a series of social media posts, the Israeli Air Force provided some details, including saying that one of the numerous multi-story buildings that was hit was the residence of Ruhi Mashta, secretary of the Hamas and part of the organization's decision-making group, which contained a Hamas terror command center, which he helped direct the infiltration into Israel. Now, there's been a bunch of updates, bunch of things going on. I do want to point something out here real quick, right? So this gentleman here, okay, he is the IDF spokesperson. That's Jonathan Consiris, okay? And he is basically comparing what's happening right now in Israel between the Hamas and Israel with Pearl Harbor and fucking 9/11, okay? This is his video. Let's just see what he has to say. I'll play a couple of seconds of this.
It is by far the worst day in Israeli history. Never before have so many Israelis been killed by one single thing, let alone enemy activity on one day. And if you're Americans and want to compare this to something in American history, then this could be a 9/11 and a Pearl Harbor wrapped into one.
Oh, yeah. Really? How's that? How's that math working for you, asshole? Okay? You had, what, 700 people die? So we had 3,000 people die on 9/11. What about Pearl Harbor? Oh, that's another 2,500 people. Okay? What about this? What about the 26,000 people that are murdered in this country every single year in the inner cities? What about the 100,000 people who die of drug overdoses in this country? What about? Yeah. Okay? That's a fucking ignorant statement.
Very, very ignorant statement.
I'm sick of this kind of shit. Stop comparing shit where people don't actually die in scale to things where they die at scale. All right? Our own government did this with this J6. They came out and they tried to compare it to Pearl Harbor and compare it to 9/11. Motherfucker, nobody was actually killed. Okay? The only person that was actually killed by our actual government who was an American citizen. All right? And so the argument could be made that our own government killed someone and then they made a memorial about it. Right. All right? So we could go on and on and on about this.
Yeah. It's complete bull. I just had to call this out real quick.
That fucking irritates me just even seeing it.
It's bullshit. All right? But let's go into some of these
propaganda.
No, 100%. It's painting the narrative, right? Like they're trying to write history as it's fucking unfolding. But let's look at some of these facts we got going on, right? So far, as of right now, when the show is recorded, it's been reported there's been 9 Americans who have been killed in Israel. Okay, and right now there's currently a U.S. team of veterans that are prepping for rescue missions. Unknown number of Americans missing so far. All right. A couple of days ago, though, this headline reads, "Death to Israel, death to America. Iran throws street party to celebrate Palestinian terror spree." Right? Did you see this video of Iranian parliament? Let's watch this real quick.
Iranian lawmakers chanting death to America. That is clearly how they feel, or certainly the way that they are expressing themselves.
And that's coming after new intelligence is saying that Iran, this headline reads, Iran helped plot attack on Israel over several weeks. Of course, we know that this is coming after the $6 billion we gave to Iran. Mm-hmm. By the way, what's going on with all those migrants? We got millions of migrants who apparently the Biden administration may have lost track of, right, flooding across the southern border. A lot of weird stuff happening. I want to touch on all of this and let's lay it out. So coming out of left field, 31 Harvard organizations, including college's Amnesty International affiliate, blame Israel for Hamas's brutal terror attack, which has killed more than 700 people. One of their professors tweeted this out. Robert P. George says, quote, 31 Harvard organizations have declared that the murders, rapes, kidnappings, and other atrocities committed by Hamas against innocent people are in no way the fault of Hamas, but are rather entirely the fault of Israel. Something is deeply, deeply wrong in academia. Yeah, I really wonder what that could be.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We got protests going on in the country right now in New York City.
Here's what's interesting to me. I mean, amongst a whole lot of things. Mm-hmm. But why is it, okay, like if you criticize, this is just a crazy observation. Mm-hmm. If I go on and I criticize Klaus Schwab and I criticize the World Economic Forum and I criticize the global elite bankers, we call that anti-Semitism, okay? And if you know about Israel, that's the country for Jewish people.
Right.
All right. So you have all these lefties say that you're anti-Semitic for pointing out what Klaus Schwab has been doing. Right. But then when Hamas attacks Israel, which the people are Jewish, they fly Palestinian flags and celebrate. Like, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah.
Like, this shows you when we say useful idiot, how dumb these people really are. They don't even understand. They do not even understand what they are standing for.
No, they have no idea. No idea. Also coming out, Egypt intelligence official says Israel ignored warnings of something big amid mounting questions about Israel's failure to anticipate the unprecedented attack by Hamas. An Egyptian intelligence official said his country had warned the Jewish state repeatedly about, quote, something big, end quote, happening shortly. Now, you got the U.S., we're deploying ships closer to Israel. We're sending them ammunitions. We're sending them missiles, artillery, all of these different things. China's standing by. They're not condemning any of the Hamas attacks. We got our strategic oil reserves at an all-time low.
Oh, I saw this. As of September 22nd, we had 17 days left of strategic oil reserve. How many days ago was September 22nd?
17 days ago.
Oh, and it just so happens that today is the day that Israel is airstriking the Gaza Strip. That's a hell of a coincidence, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's super coincidence, but not as coincidence as the fact of President McShits himself hosting a fucking barbecue while all of this is going on, while Americans are being killed and held hostage. He's having a barbecue. This was verified from the house pool. Yeah, he's barbecuing. Now, I do remember a time not too long ago, Andy. I remember this picture, a very historic picture, because this is the picture where Donald Trump, then President Donald Trump, sat down with leaders of Israel and leaders of Palestine and signed a unanimous historic peace deal. called it the dawn of the new Middle East. I remember that not too long ago. But here's the thing. With all of this going on, Andy, can you take a wild guess into who they're blaming for this?
Trump.
Oh, man, you got it. They're literally trying to blame this guy, right? There's just a lot going on here, Andy. I got some supporting stuff, but let's get into it. What is your take on what's going on?
I don't think people are going to like to hear what I think is going on. And I'm going to say it as a matter of what I observe. I think it's horrible when people get killed like this. These people are innocent people on both sides. These are just citizens of humanity that are getting caught in between the power struggle and the dick swinging contest of the global elite. Okay, so I want to say that first off. I feel disgusted for what's happening to both the Israeli citizens and also the Palestinians, because it's being done by people who do not give a shit about them. All right. And they're rallying them up about these causes that only the elite people, we're fighting rich people's wars. That's what it comes down to. And we are pawns and cockroaches that are expendable commodities for them to get whatever it is they're trying to get. All right. So before I even get into this, understand that I don't stand with either one of these people. I stand with the people of this country, the American citizens. That's who I stand with. I see all these people saying, I stand with this or I stand with that. Okay, well, if you stand with those countries, then get your ass on a fucking airplane and go over there and fight with them, if that's who you stand for. And it's also interesting that those same people who say, I stand with this or I stand with that, never say, ever, that they stand for the tens of thousands of American citizens that are killed every year in our inner cities, murdered in cold blood. They don't ever say, I stand with the 100,000 plus drug overdose victims that are American citizens in this country. They never say, I stand for the children who are being manipulated by some disgusting perverts in our education system. They don't ever say, I stand for the tens of thousands of homeless veterans that have served our country that are now shit on and spit on by our own government. All right? They don't ever say any of those things. They don't ever say that. Why is that? Why are you guys so quick to stand with these people across the world, but you won't stand up for your neighbors? You won't stand up for your community. You won't stand up for the people here that are being victimized by our oppressive system and our government here in the United States. You know why you don't? Because you don't even mean what you say. You're a fucking coward. All right. It's easy to post, I stand with Israel, or I stand with Palestine, or I stand for the black square, or I stand for Ukraine, or I stand. It's easy to post that. And the reason you don't ever say I stand with America is because it's hard to live it. That's a situation that deserves some actual scrutiny. So all of you guys saying I stand with, you're fucking full of shit unless you get your ass on an airplane and go over there and stand with them.
Well, where are the other countries standing with us?
They're not.
You know, where do you see any of these countries, Israel or Palestine or Ukraine, where are they standing for our issues that we got going on?
Bro, it never happens. It's virtue signaling nonsense. And everybody who's jumped on the bandwagon for the last 3 days, either way, whether you're saying I stand with Palestine or I stand with Israel or whatever you believe, okay, you're being played by another operation that has been executed. And I'm going to explain why I think that is too. Okay. You're being manipulated. And at some point in time, we have to get smart enough to not allow ourselves to be manipulated. Does that mean that these people are not dying over there? No, they're absolutely being killed. But let's examine the situation from a 10,000 foot view. Over the last 4 years, we've had the World Economic Forum run by George Soros and a bunch of other assholes doing all this crazy shit in the world, okay? Literally talking about how they're going to take away our freedoms and we're going to own nothing and be happy. And they're promoting all of these things like ESG, DEI, CEI, all of this corporate programming, all right? They're running all this propaganda. The data around COVID has been completely shattered. They lied. It was a lie. and it was global. It was crimes against humanity. People died. People had to watch their loved ones die over Zoom. They lost their businesses. They lost their livelihoods. They stole the money from the middle class and pushed all these people into poverty. And who did it? Who did it? The global elite class, okay? And a lot of these people happen to be Jewish, all right? So over the and by the way, I'm going to go somewhere with that. So I don't want to hear no bullshit.
Yeah, just wait on that.
Yeah. These people, just like I say all the time, these people hide behind the regular Jewish population who are good people, who are normal people, who go about their daily life like all of us go about our daily life, and they escape criticism or scrutiny by saying it's anti-Semitic to say, hey, what you're doing is wrong. That is not anti-Semitic. Okay, so we have that happening, and this is an important piece to what I'm going to get to. Then we have, over the last 2 months, what's happened with Elon Musk and the ADL.
Oh, man.
Okay,
They've been going at it.
Right. So we have all of this anti-Jewish, quote unquote, anti-Semitism kind of bubbling up, right? And the ADL is getting destroyed. They're losing their power, their protection system of saying that's anti-Semitic, because people are like, well, no, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm saying you're a piece of shit. I'm not saying all Jewish people. Right. And so they're losing control of the power narrative, right? Follow what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So people are starting to understand there's a small group of very rich, very powerful people. Most of them happen to be Jewish, who are doing things against the world that are fucking up the world. And most people are starting to understand that. Now, most people aren't saying it's the Jews. Now, a lot of people on the far right and who are crazy out, they will say that. That's not actually what it is. No. What it actually is it's just some rich, evil fucks who happen to be Jewish, who use anti-Semitism as their protection of how you can't call them out for the evil shit they do.
We saw this in other areas, right? We saw this with the trans movement. We saw pedophiles hiding under that umbrella for protection. We saw
protected class identity politics.
BLM did the exact same thing, man. The BLM movement, man, the amount of money that they were able to steal and hide under, well, you call it you're racist.
It's listen, dude. The racial movement here in America amongst BLM was the exact same play. If you criticized during that time anybody who was black, what did they call you?
You're racist.
Okay. Yep. So now they run the same play with the Jewish population.
Yep.
Okay.
Anti-Semitic.
Right. So we have to understand that's what's been going on. Okay. So they're losing their grip. They're losing their power. They're losing their this. And all the while, now keep in mind, all of these millions of migrants are coming across the border, millions and millions and millions, as this is happening over the last 3 years. And I have said, I don't know how many times, that these are military-age males who are coming here to actually fight on American soil. And everybody's like, oh, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy. Okay, well, let's unroll this a little bit more. So now we have a situation where Israel, all right, who, by the way, is known to have the most elite level intelligence in the entire world. That's what they are known for. They're not known for the most powerful military. They're known for having all the information, all right? Israel's border and perimeter is heavily armed and heavily guarded. And over the course of the last 30 years, these people have bragged about if a cockroach comes to their border, they're going to know about it. And you have IDF agents from Israel sitting in front of computer screens watching every square inch around that country at all times for the last 30 years. Okay, these are facts. All right. Now, we're expected to believe, and by the way, there's an IDF agent on the internet right now who's blowing the whistle about what I'm saying. So we're expected to believe that a bunch of quote unquote Stone Age savages, okay?
Bro, they're fucking paragliders.
All right. Put together some fans and some parachutes and some machine guns and flew over this armed tower and wall that they call what?
Iron Dome.
The Iron Dome. It's impenetrable. Okay, so these guys threw their fucking lawnmowers on their back and a parachute. and rode across the most secure border in the history of humankind. All right?
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm not buying that. All right? And I don't think anybody else should either.
No.
All right? So we have to assume that there was only one reason that they were able to get in. And the reason is they were allowed to get in. All right? So they allowed these people to come in, and these people slaughter their own people. Okay? The Palestinians fly over on their lawnmowers and slaughter all these innocent men, women, and children. Innocent people. Good people.
Yeah.
Okay? While the Israeli government watches it happen. All right? Now, as we're recording this show, the Israeli government is carpet bombing and strategic striking all different locations all through Gaza, killing who knows how many men, women, and children.
Yeah, these pictures are from Gaza.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Hamas has told Israel, this just came out about an hour ago, that for every single unannounced airstrike, they will execute publicly on the internet one of these hostages, which they've taken thousands of people hostage. So if you notice what was going on over the weekend, these people weren't just slaughtering people. Yes, that was happening.
Yeah.
But they were also kidnapping people. All right? And it's very, very disturbing videos to watch.
Yeah, it's all over the internet.
Right. So it's horrible shit. So they pull these people, and I was wondering, like, what are they doing with these people?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I figured it out. They pulled these people as their leverage against the Israeli government, knowing that the Israeli government was going to attack them this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to get real ugly. Now, that's where we stand right now. So why? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Well, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, you're free to disagree with it. Because I'm America first, bro. I care about all those people I listed here. Whatever the they do over there, I really don't give a shit. That is not our business. We have our own problems. We need to fix those first. When we get those fixed, then we can care about other things over there.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. What have I been saying was going to happen before the election? I've been saying it was going to be one of two things, and what have they been?
A war, or another war,
a world war,
pandemic,
or another pandemic,
or both.
Okay. So now we're in a situation where our strategic oil reserves are down to zero, according to that chart that we looked at 17 days ago that said we had 17 days left. So we have no strategic oil reserves. And we have this situation happening in Israel. Okay. We have this other situation happening in Ukraine. And then we have this other situation happening in Taiwan with China. All right. Now, we've sent all our weapons to Ukraine to the point where we have weapon shortages. And we've sent a ton of money and depleted our oil reserves to literally nothing. Strategic oil reserves, which are strategic oil reserves for this exact reason. All right. So now we have, and by the way, let's not forget the massive amount of military equipment that we left in Afghanistan.
You mean like the ones that they're using in...
Correct, which has
Israel
now been
right now?
shipped to the Middle East. All right. So we have all these things. Now, a month ago, Joe Biden sends Iran $6 billion. And then all of a sudden, a month later, we have Iran actually admitting that they've funded Hamas and given Hamas the weapons to do what they're doing. So understand that. This is a key point. All right. Now, back to the border. You have how many Hamas terrorists have entered into the United States over the last 3 years?
We don't know.
We do not know.
I have no idea.
Because a lot of you guys with your bleeding heart bullshit have advocated for allowing these migrants to come across, while people like me have said, don't do that. Don't do that. You don't know who those people are. These are military-age males, and I'm not the only one saying it. Lots of people have said it. But they still come. They still keep coming over here. Now, if America gets involved on the side of Israel, all right.
Which at this point we kind of have to.
Okay. No, we don't have to.
No, I'm
we don't
saying
have to do any of this shit.
In their mind.
These elite, disgusting tyrants that we call our government are going to do that.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't have to do that. They're going to do it without our consent. Okay? What do you think is going to happen to all these Hamas terror cells here in the United States? They're going to activate. And that means they're going to blow shit up. You're going to see beheadings. You're going to see stores being suicide bombed. The shit you've seen on TV for the last 40 years in the Middle East is now about to start happening here. You're going to see baseball games blown up. You're going to see football games blown up. You're going to see all that shit because you didn't have the balls to speak the fuck up when you should have spoke up. All right? So it's coming. And that's real shit. And then on top of that, we have a potential war that is 3 fronts, which we do not have the soldiers to fight because they kicked all the actual resistance, the people who resisted the vaccine. What'd they do with them? Oh, they removed them from the military. And they installed cross-dressing transgender generals and started running military ads with fucking rainbows in it. All right? So you should really think really hard about what's happening. So what do I think this is? I think this is exactly what I've been saying it's going to be. I think this is the actual beginning of the actual conquering of this country. And y'all could have stopped it by speaking the fuck up a long time ago. So that's what I think. And I think a lot of this shit that's been happening in terms of, I stand with Israel, I stand with Israel, I stand with Israel. Well, over the last 4 years, have you been right or wrong when you stood with mainstream and the politicians said?
Right.
You've been wrong every single time.
Right.
You were wrong about Black Square. You were wrong about Ukraine. You were wrong about the vaccines. You were wrong about COVID. You were fucking wrong every time you stood with them. And now all of a sudden, you're going to stand with them? You understand? Now, I understand these images are heart-wrenching, and I'm not trying to sound callous or that I don't care about innocent people being slaughtered. But this is bigger than Israel and Palestine. This is actually a human species problem. We have an elite group of humans, 2,000 to 3,000 humans, who are so powerful and so rich and so much above us that they are literally killing innocent human beings to place chess with each other. That's what we're dealing with. All right? So when you guys say I stand with or I stand with, understand, you look like a fucking idiot. You don't understand what's going on. You can't explain what's going on. Not a single one of you could explain what I just laid out for you. Not a single one. Okay? And you would look at me and say, well, that doesn't make sense. No shit. But where have I missed? Where have I missed over the last 3 years? I haven't. I missed twice. Once when I said that I thought that they were going to actually arrest these people before Biden was inaugurated for stealing the election. And secondly, when I said they were going to release the pandemic or start the war before the midterms. But here we are, 14 months out, and I'm looking at a whole bunch of tweets here, all right? And we'll just throw them up here on the screen. I'll read them. Reputable sources have been reporting Hamas terrorists came across the U.S. border and are apparently organizing terror cells planning attacks in major U.S. cities over the next 14 months. This is no accident. It's the disruption to the 2024 election. They need to retain power. Yes. Next tweet. Breaking. Hamas allegedly has terror cells in the United States after entering the country via the southern border, creating a fear of terrorist attacks in big cities over the next 14 months. So if Americans die, this blood is on Joe Biden for the open borders. Americans are going to die, by the way. Mm-hmm. Next tweet. Stay out of major cities. There's going to be massive terrorist attacks in big cities over the next 14 months. Now, these are all separate people. These are not the same person. Nope. Okay?
All verified.
They're all saying the same thing. 14 months, 14 months. We have been infiltrated. Our borders are open, and the push to create a global Islamic caliphate has been activated. You don't want to be in major cities. Stay away. Next tweet. Breaking. Hamas allegedly has terror cells in the United States after entering the country via the southern border, creating a fear of terrorist attacks in big cities over the next 14 months. What's in 14 months? I've been telling you guys this. I've been screaming it. I've come on here every day begging you to share the message so that people would wake the fuck up. And here we are. And this is going to unroll.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to unroll. There will be no stopping this. Okay? This is going to create a three-front world war that could legit result in the conquering of America. We do not have the resources. We do not have the people. We do not have the heart and soul to fight these battles. No Americans are with any of this shit. And our elite, disgusting, old, crusty tyrants who care nothing about you and I are about to fucking get us killed, a whole bunch of us, and our kids killed because they're going to draft them to send your children to go fight these wars. So when you say I stand with this or that, I don't stand with any of that. I stand with us. I stand with these people here. I stand with our own citizens. I stand with the families of the 26,000 people who are murdered in the inner cities every single year, that nobody's standing with Israel or Palestine or Ukraine or any of this other shit even talk about. I stand with the families who have lost people to drug overdoses by the fentanyl crisis coming across the border. I stand with the overtaxed, overworked American citizen who gets their boys and girls drafted to go fight wars for these old people while they are taxed into poverty and their tax money is stolen or squandered or sent to these wars. That's who I stand with. I don't stand with any of this shit. It's fucking wrong. I stand with the United States of America and its citizens. And after that, we can stand with the innocent people of the rest of the world. But I don't want to hear this shit. I stand with whatever unless you're willing to get on a motherfucking airplane and go over there. We have to understand they were losing support. Okay? The most powerful people in the world are losing support. So what did they need to happen? They needed a dramatic, emotional stirring, disgusting event to happen to make people rally behind them again. Mm-hmm. This is very similar to 9/11. Very, very similar, where all of a sudden thousands of Americans die and everybody forgets what actually, was going on in the world and says, let's go fucking get them. Mm-hmm. And then we spent 20 years over there, which made all these people billionaires.
Right.
And cost your fucking brothers and sisters and cousins and friends their entire lives. Okay? This is no different. And we're going to get drug into it again. Yeah. You better resist it. And you better stand up against it. And before you get sucked into the social pressure, stop and think. Why is this happening now? Why all of a sudden is this happening? Why are all these things aligning? This has all been intentionally created by people in our government, including our president of the United States, who has taken money for political decisions from tons and tons and tons of different sources. Okay, these people are bought and paid for, and they are putting us on a silver platter to be served up for their financial gain. And it's disgusting. And that's not what America is about. That's not what this country was founded upon. It's not what we should be about. And I'm not standing for it. Neither should you. Stop being their pawn. Stop doing their work. Stop spreading their messages they want you to spread. When all of Hollywood is speaking up at this point saying, I stand with this, you should fucking stop and question. Why are they doing this? Mm-hmm. It's propaganda, dude. And it's going to end up costing you or your loved ones or your family or your cousins or your friends their fucking lives because you won't stop and think. It's infuriating, dude.
Yeah.
If we don't get smarter and we don't stop this shit of jumping in right away because social media tells us to, we're going to die. And that's you, and that's me, and that's all you motherfuckers listening. And that's real shit. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So when you ask me why I haven't said anything, you know why I haven't said anything? Because I don't agree with any of you guys. And I'm not afraid to say it. I don't agree with any of you. America first, bro. Our people. And that doesn't matter if they're black or they're white or they're Asian or they're Jewish. It doesn't matter to me if they're fucking American. It's America first. That's what I care about.
That's it, man. So, guys, that was headline number one. Before we get to our second headline, it's time to cruise the comments. Cruise the comments, man. Let's do it. So this is ironic, man. We actually got this comment on one of our YouTube pages. We saw it earlier. Madot picked this one out. And it's interesting because it goes right along with our first headline we just had. So our cruise the comment is coming from at Kyle Isom 9645. He says, quote, why have I seen more footage of what's going on in Israel in the last 2 hours than in 2 years from Ukraine? Let that sink in.
Well, why do you think that is? Why do you guys think that is? What country are a whole bunch of our politicians that are in Washington dual citizens with? Do you guys think it's okay for people that are serving our country and our government to be dual citizens with any country?
To make the laws for this country to...
With any country.
No.
Not just Israel. We shouldn't be having dual citizens of Switzerland or Italy or Germany or fucking Russia or Canada or anything. Okay? But a huge amount of our elected officials in Washington, D.C. are dual citizens with Israel. That's interesting.
Right now.
Okay? Now, what about the people who own the media? Who owns the media? Who owns the media? Let's look at where they donate their money. Where are they standing? What flag are they posting today? All right? Let's be real. Okay? And now we have a situation where we apparently have all of this shit going on in Israel, which it is going on. And these people are slaughtering their own people to create a fucking narrative. It's fucking disgusting. But they don't want to show you what's going on in Ukraine, even though Ukraine is apparently their big agenda. Why is that? Well, maybe it's because they aren't winning the war over there in Ukraine. Maybe it's for the same reason they won't let you watch a Vladimir Putin speech in America. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's because they're full of shit. How about that? Maybe it's because they've been lying the whole time. Maybe it's because I told you they were lying on the fucking Friday that they started that shit in Ukraine. And y'all fucking blasted me for it. Probably like you're going to blast me about what I just said. And time will show that I am correct, no matter what you think.
Yeah, that's real shit, man. Dude, I remember even when the Ukraine shit started, you remember the videos that were coming out? Like the one video.
The fucking ghost of fucking... There was video game footage.
That's what I'm saying. The one video was a fucking, like a legit video game footage. It was a fucking cartoon.
And all these same people posting all this shit, dude, were posting it like it's real.
Yeah.
Like, bro, we live in the Matrix. This is propaganda. They are manipulating your mind to create social narratives so that you will get fired up emotionally and go along with this shit that makes them tons of money and takes money from you to fund it.
Yeah.
And then kills your fucking family members. Dude, it's insane. The innocent, regular, hardworking people of this earth have got to wise up that there are 8 billion of us and there are a few thousand of them. That we need a worldwide revolution, a revolution of humanity, not just in America, but everywhere. These tyrants are out of control. They're doing anything they can to take from us and give to them and pursue their fucking agendas at our expense. And dude, I'm going to tell you this. I don't give a fuck what they do to me. I'm fucking never going to bend the knee for that. I don't care what you call me. I don't care how many names you call me. I don't care how many stories they print about me. I'm never bending over for that. Ever. It's fucking wrong. And you all should fucking join me in that.
It's real shit, man. Guys, just want to say, let's take a moment here just to say we appreciate all of our real ass fans for being real ass fans. So,
bro, it makes me mad, dude.
I get it, man.
It makes me mad, especially if they're sitting in here for the last 3.5 years saying what's going on, and then to see this actually unroll like this, and then to see people support it. You can support these innocent people who are being murdered. You could support these innocent people on both sides who are being murdered.
While simultaneously
understanding that we are being played by the Matrix and these evil people who are the leaders of all of these governments. These people are tyrants, dude. This is a turning point for humanity.
Yeah.
There needs to be a legitimate human revolution. Legitimate. These people are fucking ruined. Dude, they're going to kill us all. Their depopulation agenda of COVID didn't work, did it? So what's the next best thing? Oh, well, we'll just create a war that kills them all.
Yeah, that kills the strongest, the fastest.
And you guys cheer for it. I don't want to hear any pro-war shit unless you're willing to fucking go over there and do it. I am anti-war. I am anti-human suffering. I am anti-slaughter of innocent people. It doesn't matter what flag they fly to me. I am against that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I support all of this mindless war bullshit because it's popular to say on social media. Our people here in America should be taking care of Americans. Israelis should be taking care of Israelis. Russians should be taking care of Russians. Okay? We should handle our own shit. I'm tired of our men and women intentionally being sent. Why is it? Why is it that every single generation of men in America are sent to wars to die? Why is that? That's the question of the hour. There is a major war for every single generation of American men. World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, post 9/11 for 20 years. Now we have, why are there these wars? When you figure out the answer to that question, you will become enlightened. And I'm going to give it to you. Because they cannot have strong men here in America, because if they have strong men here in America, they cannot maintain control over the population. They're sending your boys and your strong girls to die so they can maintain control here and steal your fucking money. And that's the facts. And once you come to that realization, you'll understand how evil shit really is. It's been going on for a long time. Yeah. I am anti-war. I'm anti-violence. I'm anti-suffering. The only violence I endorse is against tyrants and pedophiles.
I'm Andy Frisella, and I approve that message. That's real shit, man. And it's funny because, Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, all their stocks, bro, shooting up to the moon right now.
It ain't going to matter. It ain't going to matter. It ain't going to matter.
No.
We are in the weakest position we've ever been in as a country, dude. People better wake the fuck up. You guys all laugh at me for buying armored vehicles. Now, how many things have I missed? Real talk. I might have missed on a little thing here or there. I know of 2 major things I missed on. Everything else I fucking nailed. And you guys laugh at me for buying armored vehicles and make fun of me and shit. I ain't wrong. And you're going to find out. I bet the motherfuckers in Israel right now wish they had some armored vehicles. No, I bet they did. I'm not just saying that as a joke. I bet those people in fucking
they don't have
Palestine had some armored vehicles.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, you have no idea what's about to happen, dude. And your image of this safe living in America, this we can't be touched, and all, you're about to realize that is fucking fake. We live in a false umbrella of idealistic security that is not real. And a lot of you guys are going to find out. It's going to get fucking real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Real bad. And if that scares you, good. Because you should be scared. I'm tired of the people dying everywhere at the expense of these elite class world leaders. I don't care what race they are or what religion they follow. I'm tired of evil people doing evil shit and fucking killing innocent people, bro. The fact that so many people have jumped on and said, go kill all the Palestinians, right? Or that so many people clapped that the Palestinians did this is disgusting to me either way. It disgusts me both ways. Oh yeah, but blah, blah. No buts. These are innocent people, just like your friends and your family and your fucking neighbors and your kids. And you're on the internet throwing a fucking flag in your bio saying, get them.
Right. Imagine.
Or clapping that certain people were killed. It's disgusting, bro. Humanity's going to pay a price for the disgusting shit that they're doing. It's disgusting. And it really shows you how disconnected people really are from reality by the quickness at which they're willing to jump on and support something that they legitimately don't know that much about.
Bro, majority of these people couldn't even point to the fucking Gaza Strip on the map.
Exactly. It's disgusting. Listen, anybody who's been doing this, I'm looking at and I'm just like,
I'm gonna start, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just disgusted with it. It's disgusting. And it goes for both sides of it.
Yep.
Most people don't even know the dynamic of Israel and how it was created.
No, the history of it going back
or where it comes from or anything.
No.
Most people don't understand. Most people, if you said, what's the capital of the United States, they would think it was Washington State.
Right.
Okay, these are the people posting these flags. If you want to know how Israel was created, you should go back to World War I, look into the history, look into something called the Balfour Declaration, and then understand what happened from that point forward until 1947 when Israel was created. And then you'll start to understand what happened. Okay, you have people who occupied this land for 1,000 years, all right? And then all of a sudden, Britain and the United States got together and said, we're going to take this part of it for these people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Why did that happen? Well, I'll leave that for you to go decide. You go look at your history and you go figure out what's actually going on. All right? The quickness to celebrate the death of innocent human beings on either side of this scenario it fucking disgusts me. It disgusts me. I saw a video of a young girl being pulled out of the back of a Jeep who was beat the fuck up, man. And she turned around and her ass was all bloody. You know what that means?
Mm-hmm.
That means they were raping her. And you guys are cheering this shit on social media one way or the other like it's some kind of thing that you're getting credit for. It's fucking disgusting, and y'all should be ashamed of yourselves on both sides.
Yeah. Guys, let's keep this cruise moving. We got headline number 2. Headline number 2 reads, here's what to expect during this week's House Speaker battle. Yeah, because, on goes the show. This is a Fox News article reading, the fight bell is ringing in the House Republican Conference this week as House Majority Leader Steve Scalise of Louisiana and Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan of Ohio battle for the Speaker's gavel. Scalise and Jordan are two House GOP powerhouses who are jockeying for the lower chamber's top spot after now former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, California, was ousted from the job. The backdrop to the race became more complex over the weekend with the Iran-backed Hamas's deadly surprise terrorist attack and invasion of Israel. So here's the lineup. We got Monday. House Republicans are expected to first meet on Monday, Columbus Day, to begin full conference discussions on the GOP nominee for the Speaker's gavel. Tomorrow, or today when you guys are listening, Tuesday is when the volleys are expected to fly as the House GOP conference meets again to continue their discussions on who to put up for the Speaker's gavel on the House floor. Got to remember, Trump's also in the running for this. Now, that could definitely change some stuff, especially when it comes to foreign policy. I personally think that might be the best bet right now.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't trust any of these people anymore.
Yeah.
After just witnessing the last 2 days, I'm disgusted with all of it.
Yeah.
And I'm disgusted. I am just so disgusted with all of these politicians. All of them. None of them serve us. None of them. None of them. None of them, by the way. I'm fucking none of them. Anything I've said before this is no longer how I feel about it. It's the people versus the tyrants, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, so, but apparently on Wednesday, that's when they're supposed to make their official vote for the nominee. In the best case scenario, the GOP will coalesce behind either Jordan or Scalise without many fireworks and potentially even schedule a floor vote for the new speaker that afternoon. The worst case scenario for the GOP is that the conference is unable to choose a candidate they want to throw their hats behind, leading to a prolonged discussion. If there is a prolonged discussion, the earliest we could see a floor vote is Thursday morning. But if they pushed it on Wednesday, Thursday becomes the live option to settle the gavel to battle. Floor vote would prove to be the biggest obstacle for the GOP nominee, especially if there's a disagreement in the caucus on who should be on the ballot. The nominee requires the majority of the House membership to ascend to the speakership. And I'm even seeing stuff they're saying potentially that McCarthy might have to go back in just temporarily because there's some decisions that are needed to have that position there, especially with what's going on right now in the Middle East. So you're saying forget all of them.
I don't trust any of these people, bro. The system is too corrupt. The system is too old. The people are too old. The relationships have been going on too long. There's too much money at play. There's an attitude that's infiltrated these people that they rule us, not represent us. It's all fucked, and it needs to be fucking burnt the fuck down and rebuilt. And that's where I'm at right now. And I could change my mind. But I don't see it happening. I don't see any of these people truly standing up, speaking the truth. I see a bunch of neutered cowards saying all kinds of shit to try and get votes or get deals or make more money for themselves. And I don't see people actually standing up for what's going on here in America. And by the way, black people, this should piss you off more than anybody, okay? Of the 26,000 murders that happen in this country, it's mostly black people. And these people who say I'm standing with this or I'm standing with that, they don't give two about this happening that happens every single fucking weekend in these major cities. Okay? I'm over it, dude.
Yeah.
I'm over it. These people are pieces of shit. And until I see some real leadership, I'm gonna stand on that. I don't like any of these people.
No, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Guys, you let us know what you guys think on this topic. Let us know. Hashtag all in favor.
How can we have all of this death and destruction in our own country and be I stand with America. I stand with our people. That's the only shit I stand with. Period. Yeah. Until our shit's fixed, I don't give a about what's going on over there. I don't fucking care. Do I feel bad that people are dying? Yes. It makes me sick. Okay? But people are dying here, and more people are dying here than there. And we don't talk about it at all. We act like it's not even happening. It's wrong, dude.
Yeah, guys, jump in on this conversation. Let us know down in the comments what you guys think. Hashtag all in favor. And let us know what you guys think on this. So with that being said, let's move to our third and final headline. Headline number 3. Now, what seems to be a common narrative or common thing that happens, it's always a smoke show, right? Like, this is happening over here, so we don't want you to pay attention to what's happening over here. And I found this article. It's very, very interesting. So let's get into it. Headline number 3 reads, Japan releases evidence that all COVID variants were engineered in biolabs.
On the same day that this attack is happening in Israel, this gets released.
Thought that was interesting.
Yeah, dude, and I think that's a good point. I think what you're saying is a good point. I think that's part of what they're trying to get us to look at, right? It's always, don't look over here, look at this, right? Look here, not there. And what are we not talking about? Oh, we're not talking about this data that just came out of Japan. We're not talking about Ukraine. We're not talking about what's going on with the speaker debate. We're not talking about what's going on at the border. We're not talking about Hunter Biden. We're not talking about the treasonous acts of Joe Biden. We're not talking about any of this shit. Now we got every useful idiot in the world posting one flag or another flag saying that they stand for this shit when they won't even stand for their own people. They won't even stand for their own neighbors, their own family members, their own veterans, their own community, right? So it's not just this COVID thing, bro. It's all of this shit. And until we get smarter and we start to understand, like, it's always this. It's always a distraction. It's always when things get hot and it gets close to showing what the truth is, what happens? Something else. And that something else is going to get more drastic and more drastic and more drastic, just like I've been telling you guys for years now on this show, until they legitimately just don't give a shit and kill everybody, because they know if they just kill everybody, there'll be nobody to hold them accountable. That's what we got going on right here, in my opinion.
Yeah, man, let's dive into this. So this article reads, mainstream journalists and health officials have been promoting the return of masks and vaccines to tackle the spread of new variants, e.g. 5.1 and BA.X. However, a recent Japanese study suggests that the plot to lock down the public again may be part of a sinister plan to take away more of our personal freedoms. Double M reports, the study found that all previous variants of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, were not naturally occurring, but were, in fact, made in a laboratory. Presumably, the latest EG.5.1 and BA.X variants were also engineered in the lab, according to the study. The study was led by renowned Japanese professors Zuki Tanaka and Tayayaki Miyazawa of Osaka Medical University and Kyoto University. Tanaka and Mazawayi wanted to trace the historical evolution of the Omicron variant of SARS-CoV-2. To trace the variant's origins, they studied viral sequences found, quote, in the wild and deposited in public databases. In doing this, they found around 100 separate Omicron subvariants that could not conceivably have arisen through natural processes. Their final conclusions, in summary, the new Japanese paper states, quote, the following results presented in the study may support the hypothesis that the Omicron variants may have been artificially synthesized rather than naturally occurring. 1, The presence of Omicron variant associated isolates with one mutation site being Wuhan type. 2, the almost complete absence of synonymous mutations in the S protein in these isolates. And 3, the Omicron variant, which has been first reported to WHO from South Africa on November 24th, 2021, was already endemic in Puerto Rico in 2020. And that there were isolates that were recombinants between Omicron strains BA1 and BA2. Yeah, so let's just distract them.
Bro, listen, they're going to kill everybody. They're going to kill everybody.
I think
they don't care.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be nobody left to hold them accountable.
That's the thing, man, because they are running from accountability.
Yes.
That's all guys, all of this is about is accountability. And they knew that was coming. They felt it coming. We could see it, right? We interact. We have a pretty good temperature check on the public, in my opinion.
And we've been saying for years,
everybody's been
there's
waking up
two
to
fucking options.
Yep.
One, they're going to release an actual deadly pandemic, which they could do at any time because they are still in control. And they didn't get hung the first time, okay? Which they should have been. There already should have been Nuremberg trials. But the problem is they're all in on it. All right? Or they hit the red button and start a fucking world war that kills everybody. These people are going to kill everybody. I don't know how else to say it. We had a chance to stand up and speak up and stand for the right shit, and you guys got scared because of the online bullying. You let people that you didn't know scare you into actually just giving your shit away your whole entire life. It's very unlikely that this is going to get corrected at this point in time. Just so we're clear. So it's very frustrating. If you want to tie it together, this is also why most of you can't go build a business or become who it is you're trying to become, because you're so afraid of what these strangers might have to say about you that you freeze and do nothing and sell your dreams down the river because you can't handle a couple cross words from motherfuckers you never even met. Okay? But it's bigger than that now. Now it's your kids' lives and your kids' freedom and your kids' futures. And you sold that down too because you wouldn't stand up and take a fucking stand. It's going to get worse. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
It's going to get worse. And I don't know what else to say. I've said it all. What else am I going to say? What else am I going to say? The time to do something about this was 3.5 fucking years ago.
We made our bed.
Had we fucking mass non-complied on all of this shit, none of this would be happening. And there should be mass non-compliance now with the idea that you have to pick sides between these two little countries halfway around the world. Pick this country. Pick these people. Stand with them. That's how you get this shit back on track. I don't know what's going to happen, dude, at this point. It's very, very, very high probability, in my opinion, that the United States is going to turn into the Middle East in terms of terrorist attacks, market bombings, beheadings, and all of this shit. And I believe that's what they want, because the globalist agenda is a one world government. And to create a one world government, you have to have an even playing field against for all the countries to play against. Which means if the United States is a superpower, you're not going to bring all the other countries up to superpower level. You're going to ruin the United States and make them third world level so that they can easily be controlled and be a nice little contributor to the one world globalization government, which is communism, which they will kill all the resistance, which is basically all of you listening. So, because you didn't want to have people hate you on the internet. So sit on that for a little bit.
Guys, that was our third and final headline. It's time for our final segment of the show. Thumbs up or dumb as fuck. This is where we bring a headline up, we talk about it to get one of those two options. And we've been having a lot of people actually want more of this. So.
Of what?
Florida man.
Oh, Florida man's awesome, dude.
Well, sometimes.
I like Florida man.
Sometimes. So our thumbs up or dumbest fuck headline reads, Florida man faces charges in village's black market erectile dysfunction drug case.
Yep. Sounds about right.
So a man from the Villages is facing a year in prison after allegedly stockpiling erectile dysfunction medications and is accused of planning to distribute them. Federal prosecutors say Reginald Kinser, 77, had more than $1,800 in erectile dysfunction drugs sent to him, which he got without a prescription from a licensed doctor. The Justice Department says Kinser planned to distribute the drugs locally and outside of Florida. According to the charging document, the drugs were found during a search of Kinser's home by the Department of Homeland Security while executing a search warrant in 2018. No information was provided about why Kinser is facing these drug-related charges now. A trial is expected to begin in November. He could face up to a year in federal prison and a fine of up to $10,000 if found guilty. Now, it's not Kinser's first drug arrest. He was arrested back in 2020 for possession of several drugs, including marijuana, MDMA, and psilocybin. He was found guilty in 2021 and given 3 years probation, according to Sumter County court records. Now, I always love the mugshots. Okay, now I want you to tell me if you think this guy has any remorse. Okay.
Nope. This dude likes to party, bro.
Hey, bro, hey.
This guy's got the weed. He's got the mushrooms. He's got the Viagra. He's got the ecstasy. This dude's just trying to bang bitches.
I mean,
nonstop.
Sounds like a good time.
Look at his smile. Apparently, he's been doing it too.
Yeah, I mean, he seems fine.
Hey, man. Here's what I think, though, when I look at this, is like, this looks like communism to me, bro.
Yeah, he's just trying to have a good time,
That's
bro.
capitalism.
That's it. Free
Okay,
market.
you're getting some shit. You're stockpiling some shit. You're going to sell some to your homies. That's capitalism.
Bro,
This is just evidence of communism infiltrating our country.
He was just trying to plug the fucking nursing homes, bro. That's it.
It is what it is, man. The dude's out here getting boners, getting high. He ain't hurting nobody. And we're going to fuck with him. We're going to put him in jail, right? Like, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Free Florida man.
Yeah, free. I can't even fucking say it.
Yeah, free Florida man, dude.
Yeah.
Look at that guy. He looks like he'd be fun at a party, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, if we had a party, I guarantee it'd be a good time.
I guarantee you he has the best stories. I mean, look what he's got in his arsenal.
That's what
Weed,
I'm saying.
Mushrooms, ecstasy, and boner pills.
Yeah.
What's that sound like? Does that sound like a criminal or does that sound like a good time? I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying, too. This dude's just an old dude. He's on the fucking backside of the slope, bro. He's trying to ride out into the sunset and having a good fucking time. Good for him.
Yeah, free
Florida man.
Yeah, free Florida
That's right.
man. So we give him
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up?
Yeah.
Thumbs up, man. Well, guys, Andy, that's all I got.
All right. Don't be a hoe.
Share the show.